So I'm trying a little something here. I'm driving. I got the autopilot on. I have another camera in the back, and hopefully it's recording. Can't tell that because you can't see the back of that camera. And this is my iPhone, which I can see the front. I'm using the front-facing camera. It's this very weird thing with it. If you put the, you get this shine, and it's because light's coming in this way. I don't understand. It's the whole recording thing. But in this case, going down, we're in Louisiana now. We're 74 miles from Baton Rouge. Got a Ford pickup on my ass, but the traffic in the other lane is moving kind of slow. I'm going 75. I've really been going around 70 most of this trip because it's such a long leg of the trip. So now I've passed a big truck. I'm going to get in the line and let Bubba pass me. Bubba is the official name of anybody whose name you don't know, especially if they drive a truck and in Louisiana or Texas. And you're going to see them come up there. There they are. There's Bubba. I know that was very exciting for you guys to have met Bubba. So anyway, been listening to an audiobook, and one of the things, another cool thing about Tesla, there's just a whole bunch of these. I got two new ones, two new cool things that I've learned in the last leg of the trip. Well, one of them I learned before that. But anyway, cool thing number one is the kind of the way that Tesla handles audio. So I often listen to books or video or music on my iPhone coming through a Bluetooth thing in my speaker in my old car. But I'm also have my GPS on, because your GPS doesn't talk that often when you're, going a long ways. And when the GPS decides to talk on your iPhone, it just overrides the audiobook, but it doesn't stop the audiobook. So you can't hear what that's saying, and then especially Google, which wants to read you the 5 million word long version of every name of every street, you end up having to rewind after you get past that particular part of your GPS. What Tesla does, since it's only got one audio source coming in from the phone, which is the music or the audiobook, and then it has the GPS talking on the car. So what it actually does is the GPS is on the driver's side of the car, and the audiobook or the music ends up on the passenger side of the car when you're driving. So that means that, especially with music, it doesn't make as big a difference having the GPS talking over it. With a book, you can still kind of hear it, and you can hear the other, and generally I just stop it as soon as that happens. So that's number one, is kind of the left and right for GPS versus what's coming in. A side note, if Tessie needs to tell me that I had my hand off the wheel too long, which is not always having your hand off the wheel, by the way. Sometimes I have my hand on the wheel and it says, hold on to the wheel, because I'm not gripping it enough, or I'm not putting enough pressure on the wheel or whatever. Like right now I have my hand on the wheel. Oop, almost exited there, but decided that wasn't where it should go. Very good. She almost went off at a rest stop a while back. No, Tessie, you can't go to the rest stop. You're not that tired. But anyway, when it does that, when it says, put your hands back on the wheel, it just turns off your sound, so you can't hear anything. And I think that's probably more motivating than them having it actually talk to me. Thing number two I learned, which is something I've never heard anybody mention about the Tesla before, is in one of the settings for climate, it says ionize air. And I'm I don't even know what that is, but it's turned on by default. I don't care. Ionizing the air. Well, today I was driving and I came up behind a horse trailer, right? So I'm behind this trailer with two horses in it, and I'm driving, and I'm autopilot, cruise control. I'm right behind them, I'm 2 car lengths back, and never smelled the horses. I was after a while, I was wow, there's no horse smell. So I'm guessing, and this could be wrong, that the ionized air is actually pulling smells out between the outside of your car and the inside of your car. Now I have another data point on that. I was in a drive-through at McDonald's, and I had my window down, and I was behind this big-ass truck, and suddenly I started smelling truck exhaust. So I rolled my window up, and obviously you could still smell truck exhaust because it was in the car. And I turned my fan up high, and after a couple of minutes, no more exhaust smell. So it appears that even in the Model S, the ionized air will pull most of the smells out of your air conditioning, which is way cool. Now, I know that in the Model X, their SUV, they have this new biodefense mode, which is supposed to have some kind of HIPAA-filtered air content. But obviously, there's something going on even with the S. So, tip of the day again, I am 68 miles from the Baton Rouge Supercharger, and this is Ron Davis on my trip from Fort Myers, Florida to Abilene, Texas.